Hey, hey, everybody! Happy holidays! Welcome to my guest, Zach Cantor and Ariel Barber. Yay! Yay!
Merry
Look
Christmas!
at that.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas month.
How you living?
Oh, you know, I'm
How you being?
being alive, being alive. Yeah, I'm just here till the end of time, and then some.
Well, should we introduce our guest?
I
your
was
guest
gonna
too,
leave
but-
that up to you, you know,
Well, wonderful. Well, everybody,
or we
this
can
is...
let her speak for herself.
Why not?
Except,
But let me cut in. Ariel.
Hi, I'm Ariel.
Ariel is what Limp Bizkit would say is my significant other.
Oh, okay.
but that's not what makes her special.
No.
It's not.
No, she's a special, bright, shining star, and the reason why she's here is because she's our show's resident Christmas expert.
Expert is that's so lovely.
But-
I'm just a big enjoyer of the holidays.
Well, for those that are out there that don't know or didn't listen to last year's or the first episode, not last year's, what is it that you love about the season?
Probably the magic of it.
Ooh.
I love creating magic for others, and I love just enjoying like the little traditions that feel special and feel unique to this very specific time of year.
Yeah, and you're not celebrating it because it's like a religious holiday to you. You celebrate it because you love the magic of the season. I think you said the hygge.
Yes.
Last time we were involved.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell people what hygge is?
Hygge is a Scandinavian term for like coziness, and it actually it's not an adjective, and people try to like use it as an adjective, and I forget exactly what kind of part of speech it is, but it's
Whether
like
it's a noun.
yeah, like we've like westernized it, and we're like, can you get a load of this hygge? And that's like really not like how it's supposed to be used, but that's kind of how
Go
we
to
use
the
it
street
now.
corner and pick up a hugger.
Well, no, okay. You
Is that not it?
could. It might be cozy.
What if they made cozy hookers that were like
They.
What if they
Who are
made cozy hookers?
Who are they?
God? Maybe God?
I have
That's
made
true.
cozy sex workers who are out there making people feel warm and cuddly, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Or they've made themselves. I made them at birth. I didn't know they were going to be sex workers.
LL Bean hookers.
Yeah.
Vermont hookers.
No, they're not
All right,
in catalogs.
LL Bean is
All right,
Maine.
we're gonna
Do I need to stop saying
First of all,
hookers?
it's
we're gonna
Maine.
Wait a second.
save
I don't
you.
want to let me self-cancel.
Yeah.
Do I need to stop saying hooker? I should say sex worker.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think hooking is a thing,
No.
and I don't know how our Christmas special got there.
There's one more thing
So
I want to
fast.
say.
So fast.
I just want to say one thing about Hooker. It's that I hope the Tennessee quarterback, whose last name is Hooker, is okay. He got injured and he's out for the season. That's the last thing I'll say.
I think we're all hoping that.
That's a wholesome place to end that
Back to Christmas?
line of thought.
Well, on a previous episode, we talked a lot about, the holidays in the States, and we talked about great traditions that you and your family made, or the U.S. traditions and where they kind of came from. But I brought you back because I wanted to see what our resident Christmas expert thought about traditions from around the world.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
What do you think, Zach?
I can't wait to see. I don't know anything outside of my own personal experience. So I can't wait to see what other cultures do.
I mean, some of us might enjoy David Sedaris. He has a great short on Christmas in Holland.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is it a
There's-
short story that he wrote?
I think it's a short story, right? And it's about like it's more of an aggressive tradition than we have in the States, where it like I can't remember the details specifically, but it really, the punchline is like a guy will come down your chimney and like take the kids if they're bad.
Oh,
it's like
quite a
it's
few
like
of those, yeah.
kidnapping, and like a band of dudes will just like show up and take kids.
One
And we're
thing
like,
I've
Merry Christmas.
been starting to learn that in other cultures, Saint Nicholas is a real bastard.
Well, it's typically so Saint Nicholas is usually a good dude, and then he's usually got a friend that's a quote unquote bastard. He's got an enforcer that he walks around with.
Oh, a Christmas
Sure.
goon.
Yeah.
I also am thinking of, we used to celebrate this in our weird Waldorf school. Weird in a great way. I love Waldorf. But we had I think it's like the 5th of December, it was St. Nicholas Day, and we would all leave our shoes by the door, and you'd go to recess, and then you would come back from recess, and you'd all have a golden walnut in your shoe.
Yeah.
And I think that again is like from like the Netherlands and or other countries in that region, where stuffing like sweets in kids' shoes and it's separate from Christmas. It's its own thing, but it's based on the same Saint Nicholas.
I'm going to give you a lot of spoilers. There were a lot of shoe-related traditions back in the day.
Yeah.
Shoes played a pretty important part of life, and you were lucky to have shoes, lucky to have good shoes, and they were kind of like, a very special thing that you cherished every day. And then when you get them filled with either, treats, or in some places, like we're going to find rotted potatoes if you were bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in like homes with shared spaces, there was a lot of communal living, and shoes were something that were like specifically yours, and they were also containers, so it was very helpful.
They were also containers. And you didn't own much.
I don't know much
Yeah.
about clothing from any of those time periods, but I'd imagine they didn't have a lot of pockets. So shoes were probably your pockets, and that's why you would put things in them.
Sometimes the shoes were perfect containers because they were also made of wood. Not great as shoes, good as bowls. Yeah. That's it. I didn't expect that to land so hard.
It landed wonderfully hard.
I'm going to put that in my tight 5.
Great.
Okay. So, the first place we're going to travel to in our epic journey is Iceland.
Ooh, yay.
Ooh.
There's a lot of things going on in Iceland, but the first thing I want to tell you all about is Jólakötturinn, the Yule Cat.
Ooh.
Ooh, and there he is, mischievously looking upon a house with glowing yellow eyes that are terrifying. All right.
That's our
Well,
kind
I
of monster.
No,
love
too far
him.
ahead.
Yes, that's totally my kind of monster.
Yeah,
I want a
really
like that
giant
monster.
kitty.
First impressions, Yule Cat, before you even know what it
Oh,
does.
okay.
Charm.
Charm.
Delightfully spooky.
Okay.
I like
Comfort.
You want to snuggle that big cat.
I like that its eyes look like flashlights. Did the eyes glow?
They did, yeah.
That's
well, okay,
wonderful.
so in Iceland, this Yule Cat was owned by Gryla, who was an ogress, who was a hideous, dark figure of the Christmas season.
Misunderstood, Gryla.
And I can see that Ariel is already very excited about the dark nature of.
I'm delighted.
Yeah?
I love the weird gothic-y aspect of certain Christmas traditions.
Sure. Well, you'll really appreciate this, Ariel, our Christmas expert, because this amazing ogress abducts, boils, and eats naughty children for Christmas.
Abducts boils?
Boils them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, abducts, comma,
Doesn't
boils.
really season them very much. Just a straight cook over the fire.
Kind of an Irish
what?
stew
Yeah.
in Iceland.
It's what they deserve.
For not listening to their parents.
What is the cat's name again?
Jólakötturinn.
Yeah, Yolo Cthulhu is
Yeah.
what Super Dark Void said down there.
So this cat is said to devour anybody that doesn't receive clothes for Christmas.
What? To punish them? To punish them for
Wait.
not receiving clothes?
Ask away. What's up?
So they're punished for something that is outside of their control.
Yes.
They're already
Listen,
punished. They don't have
Are
clothes.
you going to tell me that that isn't true about the world? Do you
No,
not
yeah,
find
tough
yourself?
lessons. Tough lessons young. Yeah.
You pay for prices that other people inflict upon you.
It's like it punishes you because you didn't do enough right that year to get better presents.
Yep. That's it.
Maybe that's the thing. That's the final judgment. You've failed quizzes
Well-
all year, and then this is the exam saying, no, you're still failing the exam.
I'll tell you the real secret to why it captures the kids that don't get clothes.
Can we have some
Please.
context?
Because
please?
in Iceland, if you were a hard worker, it means your clothes are all worn down. You got a lot of holes in them, and they need to be replaced at Christmas. And so if your clothes are still fancy and don't need to be replaced, you were lazy and deserve to be boiled alive.
So yeah, the key part of that is not that you don't get clothes for Christmas, but that you don't need to get clothes for Christmas.
Yes, that's
That's
it.
the key.
So the cat is consuming not hard
Lazy
workers.
kids.
Lazy kids. And
Put those
also
kids to
parents
work.
who got them toys or couldn't afford clothes.
Yeah.
People get punished for all kinds of reasons outside of their control.
This may be just me, but I still find the idea of even being consumed by that giant kitty.
Kind of delightful. Yeah. And listen, that cat's just out trying to curb generational wealth.
Yeah, that's a great
Actually,
way
we're
of-
on the cat side.
for sure.
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
have to be.
Definitely get rid of the kids who suffered.
More cats, more giant
More
cats,
cats. Well,
less
also
spoiled children.
that's not the end of suffering in Iceland.
Oh boy.
There's a lot of obviously there's Gryla the ogress who's the one doing all this stuff.
Kryla,
But Gryla,
always up to
for
it.
the 13 days leading up to Christmas, she also has their 13 Yule lads that torture and test you.
Like strapping boys, strapping.
Nice.
Kind of like their other ogres a little bit.
But subordinate ogres.
Bronzed Icelandic boys
Yeah.
to carry out her what?
Ogre wishes.
Her ogre wishes. Now the fun thing is each of these ogres. I don't want to name all of them because there's a lot.
We'll
of
just
them.
call them brogers.
We'll call them brogers. They have different names that are associated with like how they annoy you, because the whole thing is you gotta be a good kid. In Iceland, they are one of the groups that leave their shoes by the window, and if they're good, they'll get candy, and if they're bad, they get rotten potatoes in their shoes,
Which
which you could mash and turn around real quick. You can turn into vodka. I mean, you can
Would
make
you
a
rather
potato.
get a rotten potato or a piece of coal? For being bad.
If I was in Iceland, a piece of coal because you need fuel.
Because you could use it for warmth.
Yeah. A rotten potato. Yeah, maybe you could let it ferment, but that's pretty much all you can do with a rotten potato.
You can't cut off the rotten parts and
Well, I
make
assume they don't give
one home
partially
fry?
rotten potatoes. They probably give like straight up rotten through and through potatoes. Is
that
what I
would
would
make
imagine.
sense.
And then Goobear in chat says, "Do rotting potatoes give off a deadly gas?" Yes, they sure do. There's a lot of lessons being learned here, everybody. If you don't want to, kill your family with a poisonous gas, make sure you worked hard, you got clothes, you don't get boiled alive.
what are these burly Icelandic college boys' names? The
Brogers.
yeah,
The
the
brogers?
brogers.
All
What
right,
are their
here we
names?
go.
Is it like Chad?
Nope. We have Pontaskefil Askenleiker,
The Chad of Iceland.
who is
Chad of
translates to
Icelandic
Chad.
ogres.
translates to bowl liquor.
Oh,
Comes in,
that is a frat name.
yeah, he licks your bowls.
Yeah.
It's like if you're working.
You'll give it to
in-
bowl liquor. He'll do anything.
It's like if you're working in food service.
Do you have extra borscht? Give
And
it to
no
bowl liquor.
offense to any frat guys out there who have those kind of nicknames.
Sure.
I'm sure you're deeply offended.
Another one is Herzekeller, who is door slammer.
Oh, okay, that's a
That's
frat
good.
nickname.
Walks around slamming doors.
Yeah.
And if you get irritated, boom.
Or be like
rotted
a
potatoes.
killer, like tight end, like last name of a tight end.
Yeah.
Herzekeller.
Yeah.
Rob Hertzgeller.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking door slammer.
Door slammer.
Oh,
Just
Rob
like
Door Slammer?
door slammer on the back of your uniform.
Travis
Anyway,
Door
sorry.
Slammer.
Then we got Bugennacherreicher, which is sausage swiper.
Wow.
We know what
in-
he did.
Now we're talking
Yeah.
about
Takes your sausage.
Food.
food. Yeah. Thank you.
And
Keeping
sausage
me
is
in
the
line.
primary food during this time.
You guys, I have to take
What?
a cold shower over here because I have too many dick puns going through my brain.
You're getting
It's
too
Christmas.
worked up with these Icelandic ogre names?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, that's some hooga. You're
So-
getting yourself warm and cozy.
On the burning
Thinking
pile
about the
of
weird ogres
Yeah.
that are invading your space for the holidays.
lighting my burning pile of puns to keep me
Yeah.
warm at night because it's all I have in my life.
Wow.
We got
I'm right here.
Gartenbaufer.
Hey, please.
Gartenbaufer is this is a weird one.
Oh.
You may not have run into it a lot in your culture, but back in the day it was a big deal. Doorway sniffer.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I do normally.
You just step into doorway spaces and take a big sniff in the air.
Yeah, just always worried that it's me or is it the place I'm in?
he
Well,
always has
this
to
was a
check
thing.
when he enters a new space.
Yeah.
You didn't want a doorway sniffer back in the day.
Yeah, why are they there?
Well, one, there's a lot of leaving the doors open because it was a community most of the time. Closing your door was a big thing. And if you got a person that's just stepping by, smelling the air because you're cooking something good, that guy's annoying.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a nosy neighbor type of thing.
Very nosy neighbor. And then we got Kerstankenskier.
Another
which
good
is-
tight end name.
Which is
They're all, yeah.
candle stealer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have that.
Well, this is a tough one because you lit your place by candles.
Right.
And all of a sudden, if you were in the middle of the night, you got a candle out there that's lighting your space, and then it's gone.
That son of a bitch.
You're just in the dark.
Just
Yeah.
pulling a reverse Lumos.
So yeah. So what do we
Knox.
think so far? I mean,
Knox.
Knox.
how do you feel about Santa Claus versus the Yule Cat and the ogres?
I mean, I am delighted by its novelty.
Sure. Yeah.
Do I want to punish children who haven't literally worked their clothes like
To the
bare?
point. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's not literally, but I do very much enjoy the tradition.
You're also there's a weird theme that you're going to see in these Christmas celebrations around the world. There's a tremendous amount of judgment and a lot of home invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just this was going through my head, which is just that I'm so used to Santa Claus, right? We've grown up with him, and so obviously I would say the giant cat is more charming. I'm into a giant cat, but
It's
if you really
novel,
think
yeah.
at it,
I
you
think you're
really
also
think
missing
about
the
it.
point. The cat was not meant to be charming. The cat steals
It was big and scary.
children from their homes.
But it's so cute.
I think we can say that as adults who know that cat's not actually going to show up and like take our young.
You can say from the comfort of your American homes that this massive cat the size of a house is not going to snipe your children away.
But if you
Right.
take a look at
Yeah.
our version of Saint Nick, it's a two-part process, right? Because you're like, I need to make a contract with him so we can have presents on Christmas. The way I sign the contract is by placing my child on his lap, the lap of this drunk,
well,
overweight
there's
man.
this, yeah.
So I'm just gonna put my kid
This
on
is the
his
mall
lap.
Santa contract.
And
I
my-
don't know
my-
if that's an official part of the
I will
holiday, but-
instruct my child to give our needs to his ear, right? A month later or 2 weeks later.
to his associates here.
To his associates, so to the elves?
Oh, are you saying the mall Santa in every mall is the real
Is
Santa?
literally Santa.
You're saying he's not? Obviously. He has to be. He's a representative. God, okay, listen. You in Christian faith, right? You speak
I'm not in
through
Christian faith.
This is the but I'm comparing Santa Claus and mall Santa Claus to
Yes.
Christian priests, okay? God is supposed to speak through Priests. It's the word of God. They are holy in the time that they're doing the sermon. I think we can all agree on that.
Okay.
Now,
Well, I
mall
just wanna remind
Santa
everybody we're
Clauses,
still talking about Santa.
mall Santas are the priests of Santa Claus. They have to be because they're his representation on Earth. He does not make a carnal appearance until June or December 25th.
What kind of
A
appearance?
carnal one, a bodily one.
God.
I feel like you're getting this from some book that no one has.
I'm getting it from pure logic.
This isn't in
Sure.
any of the movies
So,
or the
I mean,
storybooks.
I think that you are making the argument of transubstantiation versus
Transubstantiation.
Yeah,
trans.
yeah.
What's the other inordinate? What's the other?
I don't know,
literally, you know, the
but
like.
now we're getting back to
literally,
Martin
this
Luther
is-
versus Zwingli
Right.
and that whole argument, transubstantiation.
Transubstantiation versus
Dental
Then-
medication.
Oh, gosh,
Transcendental
help us out.
medication.
Does anybody know what we're talking about? It's like something that represents the literal body of Christ in the church versus something that is literally has become that. It's like an old division from when the Protestant faith split off. Anyway,
Anyway, lots of
again, we're
facts.
talking about
Santa Claus. Finish your story about Santa. We've made a contract.
You've
with
made a
him.
contract with your child.
Santa's the
And
Christmas
then
Pope.
Santa
Yeah,
comes down your chimney,
if you have one.
if you have one. He
Yeah.
emerges clean. And in every depiction I've ever seen, he emerges clean. He crawls through your fire. Through fire, he is born again. Through each house. Millions
you're making
of
me
times
not
over.
like Santa.
I
Well,
want
then-
to
but
read
then- but
your
then-
book of Santa because this is very interesting.
Okay, an overweight Norwegian man with diabetes crawls through fire to get into your living room, and then he leaves you gifts.
Why is he Norwegian now?
Well, he's northern, North Polian. That's close to Norway.
They are up there.
Sure.
I think it's the same territory.
Yes.
So he crawls through fire to be born again into your living room. He gives you gifts, and then you tip him with cookies,
Okay.
and then he leaves.
Yep.
That to me is as bizarre as any of these other exotic stories that you're giving us. I'm just saying we
Less-
should be
less
thankful for
people
what
die.
we have.
There's a lot
Yeah,
more at stake.
It's
in
a
these
little
other
less
holidays.
threatening.
Yeah.
It has fewer bad results. Mm-hmm. Like it's still creepy. Like someone
Sure, yeah.
entering your house at night, even if you are expecting them, and you've technically kind of invited them if you've left cookies out. But
Yeah, every great Christmas story
Wait,
is a
are you
B&E.
doing that? You were asking for it if you had cookies in your
listen,
house.
no, I'm not Christmas shaming.
You're not victim blaming.
I'm not
around
victim blaming.
Christmas.
It's just like if that is a contract and you have left cookies out on that one night of the
Asking
year,
for it.
then you, according to your logic, have participated in the contract.
The Santa
Wow,
Claus.
blaming the
Oh, that's
Eh, right.
what a button.
That's the perfect transition to talking about
Vixen blaming.
this.
Look at
This is
that.
something I think you'll appreciate.
children.
Ariel.
88 Kyles per hour, Vixen blaming.
In Italy,
Fantastic.
we have La Befana.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, well tell us about
Oh
it.
no,
that?
no, you go. I like.
You
know
like the
I know
Christmas
of it.
Witch.
Yeah.
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 What is it?
Is that Glenn Close?
I honestly can't remember exactly what she does, but I just am like, oh, La Befana, yeah, I remember that character.
So technically, she's not a Christmas figure. So Italy has their own Santa Claus, Babbo Natale. Yeah,
Baba O'Reilly?
yeah, Babbo.
Yeah, no, that was right.
Babbo. Mm-hmm. Say that.
Baboli, the crust, the pizza crust. That's why it's Italian.
Yes, for sure. They have the Eve of Epiphany, which takes place on the 5th of January, and that's where she comes from. She flies down people's chimneys before, judging the children, which is a big thing. Every holiday is about judging children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How else are they gonna learn?
And home invasion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
I guess I never realized that through line for all of this is judging children's
Around the
behavior.
world.
Oh, it's parents being
children.
like, I'm gonna try to get my kid to behave any way I can. I
Yeah.
will threaten them with every holiday imaginable.
Yep. So she's one of the big people with the stockings. So she leaves you gifts in your socks. Not necessarily stockings, just socks. If you hang those by the fire, However, if you're on the bad list, she's the one that gives you coal. And sometimes, if she's in a good mood, this is something Santa does not do, she'll sweep the floor with her broom after she leaves. She does a little...
If she's not in
She
a
does
good
a little
mood?
If she
tidying
does
up.
a chore?
She does a little like,
I see.
oh, I could see there was a big party here. I'll just tidy up
Just
a
a
little
little
bit before
tidy
I
up.
leave.
That's sweet. So she leaves you gifts in your stockings.
Or
She leaves-
coal.
Or coal.
Or coal if you've
Yeah.
been bad. She makes
But
a
she
judgment call
also
just
might
like
clean
Santa
up
does.
after,
She might also clean up after your party.
which is nice.
Yeah. Santa doesn't do that. He just comes in, eats your food,
Leaves crumbs.
leaves crumbs. He leaves a mess.
Santa's a slob. He's an American slob from the North Pole.
Now, this is obviously there's a big theme here. There's a lot of like Christian pagan combinations
Yeah.
everywhere. Her story though, which you'll find interesting, a little wedged into the Bible experience here.
Oh.
She has her roots in pre-Christian pagan tradition, and it comes from a Christmas story in Italy, where there was an old woman in this version who ran into the wise men.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Where were they
This
coming
Plot
from?
development.
So they were coming under the Christmas star.
But
The
they
old woman.
presumably heading over
Now-
from Spain or something.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
on their way.
here's the thing. The reason why she exists is because she refused to give the wise men directions.
Because they just needed to figure it out for themselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she was like,
And according to this story, me punished her for all of eternity to go fly around in a broomstick and clean people's houses.
Is that true? Did you do that?
No, I didn't. Because she didn't want to give some weirdos directions
She
Who
was
were like,
traveling-
we're looking for a baby.
who were looking for a baby.
Okay,
I wouldn't
thank
give
you.
She
Thank
was
you.
like-
weird men in the middle of the night directions
She's
to a baby.
traveling
Yeah.
alone at night, just trying to do her errands.
Yeah.
3 guys that are drunk on God knows what.
With frankincense.
They're like
Myrrh.
hallucinating, carrying a lot of bags. Like,
Yeah.
Gold from where they got from looting where?
Riding camels.
Who knows? And they're like, we're looking for this kid. We know he's out there.
I-
And she's
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to tell you where to find that baby.
I
You
want
seem
to see
dangerous.
I want to see the baby.
Yeah.
That's what he said. That's what he literally
For all
said.
those Werner Herzog fans out there.
I
it's a
want to
little-
see the
it's just for
baby.
you.
I have this myrrh.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, and please
Yeah,
keep
and
going.
they say that I then punished her for eternity because she did the right thing.
And she was like, she was there on the road, and she's like, "What did you say? Did you say you wanted to murder the baby?" And he said, "No, I said murder, not murder." That's what he said, literally
Not quite
verbatim.
landed mine like my zingers.
He's he's like reading it from
I'm
a
just saying what
transcript.
happened.
It's so accurate. It's so accurate to what happened.
and the accents. Listen,
the accents.
spot on.
And they all spoke in English too.
This
I mean, yeah.
English with thick, cartoonish Italian accents. It's pretty good.
For posterity, they were like, make sure as many people understand this conversation as possible.
Yeah. It's
For
like
the internet.
Like I was there. Yeah.
So, but you did not
Yeah.
strike her down
You didn't.
No, I didn't.
or curse her, I should
And
say.
also, what a weird curse that she didn't give directions and she happened to have a broom on her. So I was like, you're going to sweep for the rest of your life.
That sounds like a dude who was like, this lady won't help me. I'm going to make her do the one thing that she should just already be
She
doing.
should have been sweeping. What was she
Get
even
back
doing
in-
outside?
Go clean up. Go clean up, lady.
Yeah, I wanted to
Yeah,
ask
that sense.
Ariel. You know, I think you're pretty in touch with like witch culture.
Oh,
I thought you were
thank
going to ask her how she felt about sweeping.
Well, I wanted to ask. It's related to that because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know if you knew anything about where the trope of riding on a broom came from.
Yes, I actually kind of remember reading something about that within the last year.
Mm.
And what I was reading was based in Celtic and like Celtic lore. And because I think that there's probably, I might be getting this wrong. What I kind of remember reading was that women would like have, oh God, now I'm gonna mess it up. It was like associated with certain goddesses, either bundles of twigs or actual brooms in like pre-Saxon England and stuff. When Christianity was taking over, it was associated with these pagan goddesses, like symbols of their of either their like domesticity or their like connection with women in the home. And so it kind of, they think it may have trickled down from those like pre Christian goddesses in Gaelic.
It's weird that it was an extrapolation of women in the home.
Well, and again, I might be conflating things, and that might be wrong.
It's always a broom. It's associated with, and I was wondering if it came from like, just old women who then became like stregas or whatever. And
yeah,
I'm gonna give you a little insider tip. History is written entirely by conflating things. Mm-hmm. That's what all these holidays are.
Yeah.
Is someone's like, oh yeah, it was kind of this thing, and someone's like, oh, that's really cool, and then that becomes a new story. Pass it on. It's just one big game of telephone.
Does that frustrate you? Does it frustrate you that there's not like a single account?
No, it only frustrates me when it talks about reality. When it comes down to people's like traditions that they're making up as they go, I don't care.
But when it goes against physics, say.
No, when they start saying that this is the truth and that's how it's always been, then I go, oh, well, that's not true. You can believe in all these different things and tell stories however you want to, but let's not stop pretending that this is what's real.
This is basically what you're saying to your own TV because you have said that you do not interfere.
I don't, yeah.
So you're just saying this to yourself, grumpily.
Just saying it to myself, and it's never going to change.
I'm sorry.
You humans are going to change your story every decade you change the story. Not a big deal. I'm used to it by now. Just like we talked about last time, Jesus wasn't born on December 25th, but people still go, why are we taking Christ out of Christmas? And he wasn't there to begin with.
Yeah, no.
Mithra's birthday, remember that? The sun god in Rome. That's whose birthday is December 25th. Then again, obviously, there's no Mithra, so also another made-up thing.
I can tell you're getting frustrated. And I didn't want to bring the spirit down on a Christmas episode.
No, that's not it. I just, people, we talked about this with Christmas trees. Christmas trees didn't really exist until the 1840s, and then people started doing them, and then they said, we have done Christmas trees since the beginning of time. And then I'm like, well...
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like, other things from the 19th century that, especially in the U.S., we're like, this is our tradition now, and we will always do it this way. Like, Thanksgiving wasn't really a thing until, like, the 19th century. And then they were like, tradition, and everyone just kind of jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
But it wasn't... Yeah, really.
It seems like an American thing because our history.
Because we have no history.
We have no history, so our like collective memory is 200 years old.
Well, I think we're just closer to the origins of tradition. Like we are able to remember when they started, as opposed to like I'm sure a lot of other countries, the tradition was started as arbitrarily by someone, and like it's now been going on for 700 years there. It's only 200 years here, so we're like ours don't count as much, but really somebody else did the same thing just longer ago.
Mm-hmm. Sure, but there's also a lot of strategy to tradition. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of marketing that goes behind changing traditions. I mean, we talked about this before, Zach. I know that you really want Santa to exist, but Santa was made up in the United States.
Well, he was and he wasn't.
Sure.
Sure.
I think we can say this.
100%.
The spirit of Santa Claus is
we
a
can
real
all remember
entity.
it however we want to.
And, you can come at me with this Coca-Cola thing.
It wasn't for Coca-Cola. He was invented so that people were friendlier toward the robber barons. You're laughing now, but that was a big deal at the time. People had comics coming out in the newspapers about the robber barons being these big gluttonous fat guys.
I just didn't come into
this. And they didn't like it, and so they rebranded themselves.
I was not expecting to hear the phrase robber barons today, and I didn't know it was going to affect me that way.
He's got to brace himself for things like that.
Yeah, well, Santa Claus is a jovial robber baron.
Why do I find that so funny?
Born in the malls of America. That's the real history.
That's a great mascot.
Anyway, speaking of fun mascots,
Yeah.
let's do it. We're gonna break this up. I want to give you a fun one,
Fabulous.
Please.
a less doom and gloom. Over in Norway, which is a very fun place with
Wow.
lots of traditions. Norway is fun because elves and fairies are just a general part of their everyday culture, kids and adults. Okay? And so you've got this little guy who I love.
Are we gonna talk about Tomten?
Huh?
Are we gonna talk about the Tomten?
We can.
Oh, okay, no.
Here we go.
Look at him.
His name is Nisse,
Yep.
Nisse.
His name is
Nisse.
Nisse. Nisse.
Yeah.
He's for Christmas, and he's an elf.
So
Aria.
Nisse
Yeah.
jumps around, loves helping people with chores throughout the year. And think about that. That's not just for Christmas. He's an all-year helper.
He would love
Yeah.
our Italian buffaloni mozzarella. What's her name?
But the
Italian witch.
Befana.
Befana.
Yeah.
La Befana.
Now, here's a big thing. So, Nisse comes around, helps people with chores, but you have to leave porridge out for him. And it's got to be good porridge. He grades you on your porridge skills.
You make a great porridge.
Thank
We
you.
could do fine. Yeah.
Lots of butter is the number one request
Yes.
from Nisse.
What?
I mean, yeah.
He's got so much beard. It just seems like you would want a drier food or a less sticky.
Yeah. Because you can't really even see where you would get it, like, in.
No, I kind of feel like maybe you could push a Twix in there, and it would
Yeah.
disappear. But
No.
Maybe he's like me and he likes kind of a more solid porridge that really stays on your spoon.
Oh,
It's not like
yeah.
a drippy. You don't want like
No.
like a sloppy porridge.
He wants his porridge
Who does?
thick.
You want to be able to throw it and have it stick on the wall.
Absolutely. Now, here's a big thing.
Play
and this is where
porridge
it
ball
takes-
later.
Takes a weird turn.
Okay.
Oh,
So, Nisse, if you don't leave porridge out for him,
what's he gonna do?
he kills your best cow.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What a vindictive,
Yeah.
adorable elf
And
gnome.
he
In
won't
the-
tell anybody how he does it.
In the words of TL Sharpshooter in our chat, seems harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You this is the lightest version of our characters.
Yeah.
Not
Just that
Bessie.
he's very helpful
He kills your best
and he
cow.
kills your best cow.
And you know what? That's on you. You got to make sure your cows are taken care of. So you better make some good porridge.
Yeah.
Oh god, it all comes to the quality of the butter. That's why he's so obsessed on it.
It does.
So really, it is the cow's fault, maybe.
He lets you know if your porridge is subpar. So
Yeah,
what
he
that
sure
means
does.
is most people in Norway make great porridge.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Think about if we had a cooking thing that we all had to do at a certain level or be punished.
Man, I can think of one dish that I could make that,
That
would
would
pass
pass.
muster with
What
this
is it?
guy. Well, I make a pretty mighty fine apple crisp.
He does.
I think I could win him over with that. I'd be like, look, I don't necessarily have porridge.
Now, Ariel, do you think you make good enough porridge to save your cow in this situation?
I think I would be capable enough of making it.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm making it for myself, I don't always take that much care. But if Nissa is around, I want to make sure, I really step up my game.
Yeah, we probably do
Well-
a little extra brown sugar.
Oh, yeah.
I could roast up some pecans.
Ooh, you
Throw
could do
'em in
that.
there.
Yeah. I like dried fruit and I like butter in there.
Put maple syrup on it
Maple
as a
syrup.
finisher.
Heck yeah.
It's also a hard thing to test because you put the porridge out. You don't know if he's going to like it or not. Maybe you added something like maple syrup, and then the next day, your cow's dead.
Yeah, Nissa,
And then
I
you
don't
go,
know what your
okay,
tastes
note
are.
to self, don't
doesn't.
add maple syrup next year.
Yeah. Well, maybe
Yeah.
if he's around all the time, maybe you kind of like get a sense of what his likes and dislikes are.
Sure, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't think they get to see the elves. They
They just come at night and
just come at night.
Yeah.
And you can't really let your cows know that this is a possibility because then they'll start making nervous butter.
they'll
didn't
have
even
their
think about
their
that.
stress hormones will skyrocket and it'll change
Wow.
their milk and it'll change their cream and
Yeah.
The psychological torture these cows are going through.
What is this white layer on top of the butter? Oh, it's cortisol.
Also, can we say this? cows in Norway are already having a hard enough time
Why is that?
because of the
chilly.
seasons.
They're tough cows already.
You know,
Yeah.
there was a commercial that said happy cows come from California. Is that, do they? Are they happy?
I don't know if it's been scientifically proven. You know, I'll tell you this, something I love about you people. You take things and you make them harder than they need to be. Like just this past year, you start putting VR on headsets on cows so that they could see grass and feel better.
It's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that service is called Muda, right?
Just
I'm going to
Yeah.
start
Full of
programming
them, full
a
of
rim shot for you.
yeah.
The Mudaverse.
Oh God.
All right, moving on. Moving on. The next one, which
Moving
is
on.
a fan
Sorry.
favorite that weirdly the United States has taken some obsession with. I'm talking about Krampus.
Oh sure.
Yeah. Why do you love Krampus so much?
I actually don't love him that
No?
much. Mostly probably because people in the U.S. do like him, so I feel like that kind of
Oh.
ruins it.
Yeah. Zach, why do you love this handsome
Look at
looking
that.
devil? Look at this.
I love
a
Krampus
sweetie.
because Krampus, probably because of that movie Krampus, was my first introduction to something associated with Christmas being
Sure.
utterly horrifying
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and imposing.
Well, now what's happened with Krampus is he's had an interesting rebranding process that's gone on over the past centuries.
Sure.
So much so that people they do it's called Krampusnacht, which is where everyone dresses up as Krampus, and it's a been fun holiday. They think he's really cool and really neat, and so he stopped being this terrifying figure that he really was. But this guy is the king of boiling children. And these are a lot of fun, lighthearted cards that we would see. Full Krampus.
Sure,
You see
yeah.
Over here, I'll even make this smaller so we can kind of look at it. Hold on a second.
This is sick. This is
what are you talking about?
horrible
This
terror.
is good holiday fun. There we
Uro,
go.
Uro Rex down here in the chat has nailed it. He's the metal Santa.
Yeah. So metal. Look at this. He's pulling this girl's hair out of her head. Mm-hmm. And these are all postcards you can send your family.
Sure.
He's licking this one's forehead and pulling his ears. I think it's like a wet willy.
Wow.
And then this is Krampus bringing all of the naughty children off to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Pretty
This is
neat.
nightmarish. I love it. I could totally see him on a Dio album.
It's also it looks so festive. You'll also notice. See, he's got a broom.
Satan is festive, then sure.
This is because one of his jobs. So he's Saint Nicholas's enforcer.
The broom again.
The
The
broom.
broom again.
Yeah.
It's a pagan symbol.
He whips kids with birch twigs
Oops.
and steals their toys. So Santa will give them toys if they're good. He'll steal their toys and then whip them with birch. And then
But if we try it for a white elephant party, then now we're neighborhood watch material.
what are you talking about?
What?
Oh, stealing kids' toys?
On the list.
Whipping them with birch twigs.
Oh,
that'll get ya.
Yeah.
Those neighborhood watch patrols will really, they really buckle down.
Yeah,
on
it's
the-
festive when he does it.
It's festive when he doesn't. Yeah, I mean,
Double
listen.
standard lunch.
This guy is just meant to be a demon that puts kids in chains and brings them to hell.
I should have
they're bad.
asked.
What's up?
I probably should have asked this at the top of the show, but are these real?
What do you mean?
Are any of these characters real?
Oh boy. Do you want to tell him?
They're real for you, Zach.
Come on, that is such a god cop out.
That's the most honest answer I can give you.
Seems pretty vague.
Oh well, because the fact that you asked it says a lot.
I am trying to see if I can experience magic in the world.
No, totally. So, if there was this figure, I mean, you've seen parents that have kids; they're very protective of the kids. Yes, they want to discipline them and scare them. But if there really was this demonic figure whipping them, stealing their toys, dragging them away in chains, Don't you think they'd do something about it?
Yeah, they probably band together and hold up pitchforks and stuff and
Yeah.
chase
Do you
it.
think they'd dress up at him as him and have parades and put him on an altar?
A certain section of the population, sure. I'd be in it.
Short, yeah.
Yeah. Sure, yeah. No, he's not real.
Fine.
I mean, do you want him to be? Everybody in chat, should I make a Krampus? Would that really make you happy? Should we have a Yule cat that also steals your children?
I mean,
I'll do it.
it's going to be hard
Don't
to
threaten
train.
me
It's
with
going
a
to be
good
hard to
time.
train that cat.
See, you're getting
I
a
will
lot
take
of
a
yeses.
giant cat, though.
Okay.
We would both take a giant cat.
I
we
will
can
make a
that
giant
happen.
Yule cat that exists in the U.S. and we'll try them all out here.
That seems easy. That
Yeah.
seems like green slope level for you. You should be able to make a cat with elephantitis.
And moving
What
on.
is so hard about
You're
this?
nailing these.
That's not a joke. I'm just saying.
You're nailing these transitions. That was good. Okay, so we have Pere Foutard.
Oh.
Where do you think that's from?
France?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The French, they kind of got the same thing. So he is his translation of his name is Father Whipper.
Oh, goodness.
Oh,
What do you think he
that
does?
sounds not like punishing children. That sounds like punishing parents.
Oh, it does.
I'm going to
Finally.
Finally,
throw a guess out there and say he whips. Does he whip?
he does. So
Whip his hair.
you'll see here.
Oh, that kind.
Yeah.
He,
Okay, I got
he hangs out with Saint Nicholas. So this is Saint
Okay.
Nicholas, not Santa Claus. Obviously, they look a lot alike.
Oh, and that Santa really does look like the Pope of Christmas, for
Well,
whoever said
Saint-
that earlier.
Saint
I'm
Nicholas
telling you.
is the Pope of Christmas. Santa Claus is something else. See, he's got his hat with his little bedazzles on them up here. And then next to him is the Father Whipper with his whip. And he stands next to Saint Nicholas and he whips kids that are bad.
Who's the guy on
Wow.
the right?
This guy?
No,
No.
the guy on the right.
I think his
On the
name's
far
just
right.
like Hubert or something.
Is he just the guy that's on his phone in the tent
That's
with
just
Father
a
Whipper?
dad bringing the kids. Say, hey, be nice to him, or you're gonna get whipped by this strange old man that's here.
Wait, so the father whipper is whipping the kids?
Yes.
You thought he was whipping fathers.
Yes.
No.
His name is just Father
I thought that
Whipper.
guy on
No,
the right
there's
was getting in line
there's
for a
Father
little.
Christmas and then Father Whipper. Yeah. Well,
I see.
Well, we've got so many of
I
these.
see, and I don't like it.
We've got so many of these entities that are torturing children. You'd think we'd have one of them that tortures the parents.
nope. No, because all of this judgment is just meant to keep kids in line, which is exactly why people still celebrate it, even though they clearly don't whip their children anymore. Well, some don't. Most don't. I should say.
What country is Father Whipper from?
France.
France.
You should
Really?
also know his history.
Yeah.
He was an evil butcher who murdered 3 boys. And it gets better. And St. Nicholas discovered the crime, and to shame him, he first forced him to work for him for the rest of his life. But also what a weird thing is that he forced him to, whip children for the rest of his life. So I
To
don't
do
know
the
if
thing that he's
he's good at. Yeah.
in. What?
Go ahead.
That's like if
have so
LeBron
many
went.
questions.
Ask questions.
That's like
Ask away. That's
if
what we're here
LeBron
for.
got sent to hell and then his punishment was keep playing basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the very confusing thing.
Makes
Also,
hell sound dope.
it's confusing because Saint Nick was based off of like an actual person.
Mm-hmm.
So was this dude also based on like an actual dude?
Was this guy just Jack the
Oh
Ripper?
yeah. No.
But I'm
French
sure,
Jack the Ripper?
again, we're going back
Kinda.
to like conflating things. I'm sure
Yeah.
that it was 2 separate sort of mythologies of people like
That got merged together.
yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't-
Somebody saw this story and was like, you know what? St. Nicholas he's too nice. We don't have kids
Give him some
afraid of
edge.
things. We had to bring the Fox News experience into what?
No, that's
gotta make
just
sure
it was very real. It was
They
very real.
stay scared.
Yeah.
So look out for his friend. Saint Nick, sorry, has a buddy that he travels with everywhere. They're roommates. There's nothing else going on.
It gives
But
Santa a
they-
little street cred.
It gives Santa a little street cred. Also, why does Saint Nick need a bouncer?
Oh, is that a rhetorical question, or you just?
No, I mean you can answer it or not, but I'm interested in why.
If I had people trying to sit on me everywhere I went, I also might,
Need security.
Have
security.
a whipper that whips children. Yeah,
or just lashed out at anyone in general.
or just randomly lashed out.
You know.
What is this? We have a Jersey Mike's commercial?
Oh yeah, it is commercials.
Oh, fun.
Hey, welcome to the internet in the future. So this next one, not necessarily a figure that comes, but the traditions is nice. Again, I'm giving you little pleasant breaks from these whipping people
Yeah, please. I
And-
want more big cats.
and the murder. Well, this isn't a big cat,
Okay.
but it is the biggest goat.
You know what? That's actually better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Goat plays with us. Yeah.
So, this is Sweden and the Yule
The
goat.
Yule book. It's a Yule book.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So-
what this one
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
My family is Swedish.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So.
Do you also construct a giant goat in the front of your yard every year?
No, we don't. But
You
we always
can.
had little straw Yule books around the house and like decor of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, this goat, it doesn't have any big story to it. Sweden just likes goats. They're big fans.
What does it do?
They're around. Well, it's just amazing because it's so big.
What
Every
what more
year-
do you want?
Every year they construct a new goat before they burn it to the ground. Now that it's 2022, they live stream the process most of the time. This one was 42 feet high, 23 feet wide, and weighed 3.6 tons.
Amazing.
The Burning Goat Festival.
Kind of, yeah. That's it. It's just a fun goat.
I realize I don't have any at the house, but I normally have little Yule book. We have a bunch of straw ornaments on our tree because I always had straw ornaments, and oftentimes you have the little Yule buck on there as well.
All right.
And
Fun story.
so is
I
there?
gotta give Zach's got to throw a weird joke out before we
It's
skip it.
not a joke. Is there any weird lore with the Yule Buck? I'm just having trouble understanding. He just is there because he's
I mean,
big?
it's like reindeer. It's probably where you like the same branch that we got reindeer from. It's just like a figure associated with the holiday.
So we
or, like,
burn
winter.
him?
Well, I'm sure that's
That's
just
just a kind of
fun effigy burning thing.
yeah. It's cozy.
It's cozy.
It's a big fire. It's a bonfire.
Get your hugga
Does not
somewhere.
seem cozy to me. This
well,
seems hellish.
Well, it's not alive.
Seems
unlike
mean.
the children that have been boiled in the other stories.
Well, I mean, there's like
that you were on
Yule-
board for, by the way.
There's other like
I'm
burning,
not going to hide from that.
like fires are traditional for all of the like pagan holidays. Like they're usually associated with solstices and equinoxes, and like having a big fire intentionally is like pretty standard in like Western Europe traditions. For,
Well, it's all part of the Saturnalia, which is
Yeah.
which is where all this Christmas comes from. Is that month-long celebration of you just
Yeah.
you just butchered a bunch of meat. You got a lot of stuff to eat.
It's the darkest time of the year.
Darkest time of the year. Make a big fire.
Yeah.
Was there an initial impulse that seemed like this that you put out saying hopefully the humans will catch on, and then it became all this other stuff? Did you need us to celebrate togetherness?
No.
This was all our invention.
Well, I'll tell you this. A lot of things start out without magic, and they're very practical. And then as they grow in the years, they gain, the tradition and nostalgia adds to the fun and cozy feelings of it. You add a little bit more to the story. So why was there a big bonfire in the beginning? People were cold. Mm-hmm. And then why was there a lot of food to eat? Because the cows were dead and weren't going to make it through the winter.
Yeah, your house gnome killed it.
Your house gnome killed it.
Yeah.
Well, you got to do a lot of butchering going into the winter. It costs a lot of food to keep those animals alive. So you butcher them, you prep the meat, and then you go, well, this stuff's going to spoil quick, so we might as well have a feast now.
Ariel, why do you think we have mashed together family, warm and fuzzy feelings, harvest celebration,
Okay.
and children torment?
I think that answer is all wrapped up in one.
Yeah.
Because in the winter, you're all stuck inside the house. You probably are, at least historically, for most families, you'd be multi-generations in, like, if you were lucky, a two-bedroom house. I mean, a two-room house.
If you were
lucky, lots of, like, you are now confined to the indoors. It's cold outside. You can't work your farm or your fields. You're stuck with all of your parents, your grandparents,
your
your
kids
children.
are not behaving.
Everybody's in this space, and you just got to get through the winter. So, like,
Everyone's got cabin fever.
you got to make the kids behave, because otherwise you're going to want to kill them yourself.
You got to make the kids not go outside.
Well, yeah, because it's like freezing cold.
So
in
you say, there's a
most
giant
of
Yule
the-
cat out there.
There's a Yule cat. Can't do it. Or, don't run around the house and break everything and make us crazy, because then you'll get taken by the giant Yule cat.
So what you're saying is this is all parenting.
It's all
It's a lot of
just
parenting.
trying to get through the winter with your
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. It's very practical. I mean, listen, there's good things in parenting that you want to make sure your kids are afraid of. You don't want them running and playing in the road. That's a big deal. However,
So put a giant goat in the
back
road.
in the day, they'll say, if you run into that road, there's an otter that's going to come out from the sewers and take you away. So don't play in the road.
And I'd be like, promise?
I'd be like, plot for It 3.
Yeah.
An otter? A giant otter?
A giant, but he's got a broom, which people are scared of.
Oh,
Watch
those
out for that
pagan
broom.
otters.
All these domestic animals.
Yeah.
What is this, Redwall?
All right. So this is a really big one. It's in Wales, but she has made her way around a lot of countries in Europe. It's very strange. Maybe one of my favorites. I've saved my favorite for last.
Okay.
Here it is. Mary Lude the Horsehead, a.k.a. the Great Mare.
Oh,
Now,
look at
I
her.
will say, weird thing about this time in this country, there are a lot of real horse skulls being drawn around the streets.
What?
Initial questions and thoughts.
All right. What is the eye and ornament?
It is, yeah. That's meant to be. She's supposed to
She's
be.
festive.
She's supposed to be festive and terrifying. That if you look into the dark pools of her eyes, it's supposed to be scary.
Nailed it.
It's a green bauble.
Yeah. So
Only questions. I
Yes.
only have questions.
go on.
What? Why?
Why? Well, I'll tell you.
Why,
you
God? Why?
These horses are a big deal. She's like a horse witch. And there's a lot of parades, and thousands of these are going out around town. Okay. And basically, there's people that operate her, and they're singing songs, wassailing, if you will, which is where all this comes from.
Yeah, going for a hot wassail.
Here we come a wassailing.
Among the leaves so green.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
This
No, wassail's
Get breakfast at the wassail house.
It was the beverage.
wassail singing.
Yeah.
The wassail was the beverage that went along with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like an eggnog
Not the
beverage
horse
or
skull.
is it a wine beverage? Wassail.
It was like, I think it was more like cider based. We've turned it into wine, but
Yeah.
but it was hard cider. I think, at the
But
time.
the thing is, she's got a group of people that are operating her like a puppet. Her head's kind of turning around. She's snapping and making weird sounds at people while everyone's singing. And this is the best part. She comes up to your house, and you open the door, and it's almost like a face-off, like a
Oh.
dance battle,
Oh my God.
but with songs.
What?
So
So you have to carol back at her.
you have to carol back at her.
I like
Or make jokes because basically what's happening is she's trying to commit home invasion. Story of the season.
B&E, just
She's trying to commit home
Christmas
invasion.
tradition.
You're trying to stop her from coming into your house. And so you have to come up with jokes or sing songs back that prevent her from doing so.
I am so prepared for this. So we
Yeah.
just have to have an
Just
acapella
post
battle.
him by the door.
It is exactly like the
No.
movie Pitch Perfect.
Same
in
thing.
every way.
Uh-huh.
To
Yeah.
the T. Okay?
Horse Amy.
Now.
Do you think we could win that battle? What would we sing?
I mean, I don't. At some point, I would lose because you're much quicker with the jokes and the puns.
We
Well-
could probably throw out I mean, you and I could probably do Gypsy by Fleetwood
yeah.
Mac.
By Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Well, spoiler alert.
Over and over.
Everybody loses.
Oh,
Okay.
They are relentless until they get into your house and invade your home. You're going to lose.
you can't tire a dead horse.
Nope.
Has anyone ever won? You just can't.
Nope. Say it again, Ariel.
You can't.
Because
You can't tire a dead horse. Oh. What?
yeah, you can't beat a dead horse.
Is this where the saying comes
Yes!
from? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh.
That's it.
Oh.
You can't beat a dead horse.
Not
I
in
was
the old wassail game.
I was more lost than when
You've
I
been
I
was.
just
saying
liked-
puns this whole time.
I
and
just
said-
liked
just
watching
did not
his
get that
face go.
His beautiful gold face.
So the thing is, eventually she wins. She invades your house. You got this dead horse walking around, bumping into things. She also steals stuff from your house.
Yeah.
Chases and frightens the children and the adults. Yeah. And then the group of people, like they put on a big show where they try to pretend like they're trying to restrain it, but they're really not. It's just a...
Right. No, they're actually controlling it.
Yeah. Well, imagine being invaded by an improv group.
Oh God.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Every year.
It's like college all over again.
Yep. They show up at your house. They ask you for suggestions. They don't take no for an answer because they just yes and. They come in, steal your stuff, and eventually leave when the show is over.
Wow.
So can you just
Is this not the most horrifying of all of them?
anyone who's done improv will know? Can you beat them by just turning the lights off
No.
and blacking?
Yeah.
All right, fair.
It's a real
You
sight
just
to
say
see.
end scene and then
Yeah,
they leave.
you can do that. Or do a wipe.
Yeah, can you do a wipe?
Can you just
run, in front
run
of the
across
horse?
them?
I mean,
God.
you should go to Wales sometime during this festival and see, the thousands of horse heads creeping around the space. And then know every single horse head you see was once a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our last one, which will soon be sweeping the whole world, is... Drum roll, please. Here we go. Tio De Nadal, the Christmas log.
Is he like a Yule log?
He is exactly a Yule log. Now,
I love Yule logs.
he is also known as Kagatillo or the pooping log.
All right.
Oh,
Why?
This is
yeah.
Why is he named that, God?
Well, look at him. He looks like he's.
it's a Yule log. Why does he look this way? Well,
Why is he
let me
named
tell
the
you.
pooping
And
log?
again, please, your commitment. Do this next year.
Okay.
Sure.
Spread the word. I want this to be the dominant figure of Christmas forever. So here's what you do. It's a whole process. So
As most.
starting with the
pooping is.
feet of the Immaculate Conception on December 8th. They are the only ones that have a feast for, oh, I'm pregnant.
Oh, surprise!
Oh, surprise.
How'd that happen?
Okay. So
Oh, it was immaculate.
it's on December 8th. And this takes place in Catalan, by the way.
Okay.
The family start hosting Tio then, who is a small hollow log propped up on two legs with a smiling face painted on one end.
This seems so
You
last.
get to paint your own face.
This
Look at
seems
that.
so last minute.
He's so, No, this is part of the charm.
It seems like a nonna in Spain
Now-
who
now-
ran out of ideas and said,
Wait.
make the kid something.
It gets better, okay? Every night, the family gives the log a few morsels of their food to quote unquote eat. Okay?
All right.
All right? And the blanket over his butt is so that he stays warm throughout the evening. He's a log.
He's a hollow log.
He needs to stay warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they actually putting food in the hollow
No,
log?
it's all pretend.
Okay, great. Because I was like, then you
It's
have
like
a log
the-
full
it's
of
like the
rotting
elf on the
food.
shelf.
Okay, great.
And Santa
Love
Claus.
it. I'm here for it.
Okay? Now, best part.
Great.
On Christmas or Christmas Eve, whichever you want to do with your family,
Mm-hmm.
the family orders the hollow log to defecate small gifts.
Yeah.
Commands. Tio De Nadal, I command you to poop gifts now.
This is not the first time I've heard of a similar.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: if it
Like-
doesn't start pooping right away, family members sing songs, or they hit
Prunes.
the log with sticks in order to speed its digestion.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I do sometimes. I have to
Yeah.
pat my tummy.
Yeah, yeah. And then the log gradually drops little candies and nuts and dried fruit for the family to share.
That sounds like what I do anyway.
Yeah. Now,
It's a constant delight.
the finale.
Constipated delight.
We're not even at the end yet.
Okay, sorry.
Dried
The-
fruits and nuts.
Is there a
Dried fruits and
song?
nuts. There's a lot of songs
Yeah.
for him. When a head of garlic or onion falls out of the log at the bottom, that means all the treats are finished for the year.
Oh,
Okay.
that's it.
Head of garlic
it.
is the climax.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is honestly, this perfectly represents exactly what I think about human traditions.
All right.
They are on this level. You got a log. You pretend to feed it food. He poops out treats every year. You sing songs. It brings the family together. Yeah. What do you think?
I love it, and this is the second time this season that I have heard about this or a similar thing.
Yeah.
And I was listening to somebody singing the song that they're supposed to sing when they hit it with the stick. And the translation really was just like poop, poop. Like it was a
Yeah.
lot of just like commanding this log to poop on
So
their
this is all
shoes.
coming together for you now.
It really, I'm just glad. I'm glad that more people, because I saw that on YouTube and now you guys are seeing it here. And it seems like maybe your wish of it spreading is already starting to happen. The ball is rolling.
Yeah.
You know?
Listen, everybody, get yourselves a log. And this can be a great last minute thing. Oh, you just got to paint a face on a log.
Yeah.
The one thing that's nice about this, that log does not judge you.
No.
It seemed very accepting,
Yeah.
very happy to be there.
Well, it is.
The basis for the famous Christmas movie, National Lampoon's Christmas Defecation.
Wow. See, it's not that I don't enjoy them. It's just that I'm immune to
The puns.
the
Their charms.
puns. Yeah. I'm not immune to them, but they don't. I think
don't
I
sneak-
just roll with it. I just roll with it. He
They don't
knows
hit
that
you as
I'm
hard.
appreciating it, even when I'm silent.
I don't think I'm ever going to get used to them. Yeah.
And that's-
Sorry.
I understand.
So pooping gifts.
Oh, you know what else is nice about this one?
What's
There's
that?
no home invasion.
No.
He was
No,
the
this is
only
actually the
figure that was
mildest.
invited in.
And what does he do? He shits on your floor.
Gifts and an onion or a head of
A
garlic.
head of garlic.
Yeah.
Those garlic poops are
Intense.
intense.
And that's how you know you're like, oh, we've gone too far.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
done. We're done.
We're done.
I think we need to stop.
I think
I'm
we
gonna
just,
retire
yeah.
this for the night.
Yeah.
All right. So moving forward,
So logs making logs.
if you are ever going to have a family of your own, which tradition are you going to go with? You've got a whole slate. I mean, I know you've got your own personal ones,
Right.
but are you thinking of adopting any of these?
I genuinely love the Yule log.
Yeah. See?
I also have a family that loves a good poop joke. So I feel like they'd be open to it.
I think that the Yule log is the one that I could physically pull off because
I
I'm not
wish I
that.
could high five, give you both a big hug right now.
I
But you are
also
just-
want to do
You
the Yule
made my
energy.
buck.
century.
Yeah.
I'm not very crafty, but I could paint a log face.
Yeah.
But could you build a 40-foot goat?
I couldn't do
Out of
that,
straw.
but I
You
could.
could burn a little Yule buck. You could make like
Yeah.
a little one because I also love the Yule buck. And
Yeah.
we've never
really like the
in
Yule
a
buck.
a house full of Swedish traditions, we never burned the Yule buck. We did have a Yule log that we burned that was supposed to burn for 24 hours, but we didn't burn the Yule buck. I think my mom was like, that would be mean.
I could also put my iPhone camera very close to our cat and make it look big. Maybe put a tiny Lego house next to it. And then in Photoshop, I'm not good with Photoshop, but you are. You could give it glowing eyes.
Easily.
Listen, for any of you out there that have cats, please post photos in our Discord of your own version of the Yule cat.
If you have those tiny little ornaments that are like little figures that are like this big, you can put it next to your cat so it looks like it's gonna like crush them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if anybody decides to do their own Yule log, please, I want to see pictures.
Yeah.
There can never be enough Yule logs. And then the fun thing is, after he's done pooping, you throw him on the fire.
You burn him.
And then
You
he has
burn
another
him.
gift, which is warmth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I've learned today is that everything that we love, we must burn.
That's the one
If you
lesson.
love it, set it on fire.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
That
true.
old adage.
that's the spirit of Christmas to me after this conversation.
That and your insane novel about Santa Claus and his history and strange contracts that he seems to have with you.
The idea that mall Santas are earthly emissaries from the real Santa. Wow. What a
Well, who else is
What a
going
way
to
to
speak
be.
his gospel?
right.
You have to think about that. It's like we wouldn't get the word of Santa unless it was for mall Santas
This is where Zach South comes creeping to the surface, and you can really see it poking through.
or Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
And yeah, I mean that's where it came from. That's where my head's at.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have corporate meetings, Eurorex says.
Who Santas? Mall Santas?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, mall Santas are just
They have pilgrimages.
they're just like drunk cousins and stuff, right?
I don't know. I don't
Drunk
know.
uncles.
You're making it up.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being our resident Christmas expert. A title
I
for which you
love-
did not ask for.
No, and I'm so glad that it's been bestowed upon me.
You've earned it.
We just
Thank
need
you.
someone that really has that love for the holiday.
Yeah.
You know, that will look at a Yule cat and go, you know what? Maybe that's okay.
Yeah.
Nobody asked that cat about their side of the situation.
No, it might just be hungry.
It might just be hungry for children that didn't get clothes.
That's so good.
Anyway, lots of lesson learned. Happy home invasion season to you all.
Yes.
Merry holiday.
Lock your doors.
Remember, you
baby.
asked for it.
You asked for it. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.